Hey y'all, it's Jack again. I've got some movie recommendations for you this time, specifically great quarantine movies. I'm giving you 10, two ranked lists. So, what I've done is I've divided it in movies that are comfort movies that you need to watch because this quarantine and this virus has, got you really stressed out and down, and you need to watch something positive, uplifting, or, gentle to really take care of yourself. These are the self care movies. So I've got five of those, and then five just like, you know what, forget it. We're gonna dig into this darkness. And yeah, so I've got five horror slash drama movies that, if you have a dark sense of humor, you're gonna want to watch specifically during a global pandemic. So let's start with a comfort movie. So these are ranked. So I'm going 5 to 1. The five best comfort movies to watch in quarantine. Five, Sabrina, written and directed by Billy Wilder. Oh my gosh. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's been a favorite since I was a kid. It's Audrey Hepburn and Humphrey Bogart and William Holden, and everybody is just so charming, and especially Audrey Hepburn is charming. It's basically just Audrey Hepburn being adorable for 2 hours. This movie, I love it so much. La Vie en Rose is in it. Oh gosh, just yeah, classic for sure. All right, now a dark pick, number five, The Seventh Seal, Ingmar Bergman, with Max von Sydow, who just passed away. Actually, may he rest in peace. If you owe him a viewing, if you haven't watched a Max von Sydow movie yet since his death, and you haven't seen Seven Seal, see it. I'm a huge fan. I have a tattoo of the movie on my arm. So yeah, no, but it's set during the um, right after the Crusades, during the Black Plague, and everyone's dying and everyone's ill, and this man is asking deep existential questions about God and suffering, and yeah, it's one of my favorite movies, and it's relevant for what's happening to us right now. Okay, comfort movie number four, Babette's Feast. This is comfort movie. If you need something just gentle, that is really just even boring, like you need something uneventful, but like still so interesting and moving and powerful, but like in it is set in this Danish town, this small town, and these older women live this very simple, puritanical life, and this French chef comes from seemingly out of nowhere and just wants to live with them and be a part of their lives, and so she learns the simple puritanical life that they have, and then also makes her own impact as well. And if that sounds boring, I'm sorry. I mean, it might be a little boring if you don't like boring movies, but it's beautiful and it's a great comfort movie. Okay, number four for dark quarantine films, Nosferatu. Classic. You could also watch the remake by Werner Herzog, Nosferatu the Vampire, starring Klaus Kinski. That is also so great. But this is specifically a Dracula story that is set, that like really focuses on the theme of this sort of uh, infestation that like Nosferatu is infesting this city, and so there's like a plague, and people start dying, and and people have to stay indoors, and then you have Nosferatu who can't go out during the day. He has to stay confined to his home, um, to his home turf at all times. And he's yeah. I mean, vampire movies are great for quarantine, and this is specifically a perfect one for quarantine because of the virus element. Okay, number 3 on the comfort film list, Punch Drunk Love. Paul Thomas Anderson masterpiece right here. And Adam Sandler gives one of the greatest performances of acting history, like cinema history at least. He is so vulnerable and so moving, and Emily Watson is so inspiring and encouraging. She's an angel, and the two of them together in this movie, just it's gold. It's happiness. It's just it's so uplifting. This is such an amazing movie. I watched it on the first date, my first date with my wife, with my now wife. It was our first date at the time. We weren't married. Um, oh, it's a beautiful movie. It's one of my favorites. So if you need a comfort movie, watch it for sure. Number 3 on the darker list, The Exterminating Angel. Listen to this plot. A group of high society friends are invited to a mansion for dinner and find themselves inexplicably unable to leave. They cannot leave this party area that they're in. They just mysteriously find themselves unable to leave. And it's a great quarantine movie, obviously. They're quarantined there. They're like stuck there in this space. And so you see humanity kind of come out in different variations. Some people get very superstitious. Some people get very religious. It's Louis Buñuel uses it as almost like a Lord of the Flies type scenario. But wow, is this an amazing art house film, and also a great quarantine movie. Okay, number 2 on the comfort movies, best comfort movies. It's not Odd Man Out, but on the Odd Man Out Criterion Collection set, there is a special feature, Home James, a 1972 documentary featuring actor James Mason revisiting his hometown. If you liked Mr. Rogers, if you liked Bob Ross, you're gonna love James Mason taking you on a tour of his hometown of Huddersfield, England. It is so delightful. It is so delightful and so funny. Every 5 minutes, there's something like laugh out loud funny, and oh my gosh, you gotta watch it. It's on YouTube for free. You can just go watch it. I think it's like an hour long. Home James Mason. Yeah, no, I mean, that is anytime I'm sick, I always watch it. It is my go-to. You hear the subway? I'm gonna let it pass and then I'm gonna finish. Yeah, Home James is my go-to comfort movie for sure. So you should check it out. It is, again, the best. Well, second best, but the best. All right, number 2 on my dark quarantine list, Repulsion by Roman Polanski. This is a psychological horror film to end all psychological horror films. This woman goes through this very uncanny, eerie experience of self-alienation and isolation, and she goes crazy in her apartment, and you kind of just see her spiral. And man, I mean, again, related quarantine, we're all kind of doing that, getting a little crazy, getting a little cabin fever. And this is a great cabin fever movie. Repulsion, Roman Polanski, immaculate horror film. Immaculate. Okay, the number 1 comfort movie, in my opinion, for these times in quarantine, The Gold Rush. I mean, really any Charlie Chaplin, but this I have to say is my favorite. You know, City Lights, it's a masterpiece for sure. The Gold Rush to me, it's the funniest. It's so endearing, and the stunts, the production value. I mean, the the levels that he took cinema with this movie, and then the way that it makes you feel. Every time I watch this movie, I feel like a kid again. I mean, really, it is one of my all-time favorite movies. Perfect comfort movie. Perfect. Charlie Chaplin, no brainer, no brainer. Obvious, obvious. Okay, and finally, my number one quarantine, dark, sinister, effed up movie, John Carpenter's The Thing. This movie is mind-blowing. Listen to this. Horror Meister John Carpenter teams Kurt Russell's outstanding performance with incredible visuals to build this chilling version of the classic The Thing. In the winter of 1982, a 12-man research team at a remote Antarctic research station discovers an alien buried in the snow for over 100,000 years. Once unfrozen, the form-changing alien wreaks havoc, creates terror, and becomes one of them. It consumes you, and then it turns into you. So literally, you never know. Any person next to you could be the Thing, and could just be waiting to attack and eat you. And oh my gosh, the screenplay, I mean, the level of the barbarism that people rise to in this sort of anxiety and this fury of confusion and desperation, like the stuff that comes out, man, I mean, it is an amazing movie, an amazing horror film, so screwed up. The visuals, just wait until you see. You'll never be able to unsee some of the amazing, terrifying images. But man, is it the perfect quarantine movie. So those are my 10 picks for you. Watch those movies in quarantine. Let me know what you think. Also, let me know what your favorite quarantine movies are. What have you been watching? All right.